dropped my thing. Got beer on my balls area. Just welcome. Hello, the internet. Mark, this is Billy, and we're doing the Blair Witch. Reviewing the movie Blair Witch that just came out in 2016, and it's directed by somebody who did You're Next and The Guest.
Yeah, it was directed by Stinkin.
Yeah,
that's the director. You guys all know Stinkin.
I actually should know his name because I just talked about him, but
we'll just throw it up in text. Yeah, we'll just put it.
Yeah, it's right here. This guy did it. Also, this guy's the main character. I forgot his name too. Main character, director.
But yeah, we went to see the Blair Witch. It's the actual sequel to the Blair Witch Project, not that shitty one that came out in like 2004. That was an unofficial sequel.
Well, it was actually made by the same studio. No one else was attached in the studio.
And it wasn't even found footage.
Yeah, it wasn't even found footage. The studio changed the name after it was made. Focus Shadows has nothing to do with that
I
movie.
made it like 20 minutes in.
Yeah. It literally, the guy didn't even have third cut of it. He didn't have final cut, the director, but he didn't even have third cut. The movie that he saw that got premiered was like a mile away. He wasn't around during the reshoots.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so Jumbled Mess was the second one. First one, classic.
It's my favorite horror movie.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. When you look back at certain how scary it is, not exactly the way that horror movies are made now, but definitely one of the most suspenseful movies I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
And that's enough.
For me, I know way too much about the filmmaking process to be scared by most horror movies.
Yep.
So
that's probably why I don't like horror
movies.
Make
me like on the edge of my seat, like what's going to happen, what's going on. And personally for me, a lot of that is based on like when nothing happens for a long time. But I mean, you can't just have a camera rolling on nothing. It's the things that happen in the nothing that build the suspense because you can see the nuggets of things that are building until something happens.
Things we'll talk about during our negatives. The way this works is we are going to talk about our positives, and then we're going to talk about our negatives, and then give a Taylor's review between 0 and 10. And before this, he's going to give you a small little synopsis about what happened.
Yeah, but before that, please like and subscribe, ladies.
And guys. Middles too.
And guys.
Everybody.
But anyway, plot synopsis. The Blair Witch takes place 14 years after the first movie. And the main character is the younger brother of the young lady who was with the film crew in the first movie who disappeared.
Way younger brother.
Yeah. And all they know about what happened is that there was some found tapes, and that's what we saw in the first movie with those tapes that were found. And so he's seen all that same footage, and he's seen a bunch of scattered random things that people posted on the internet. And he found this one guy who got a shot of what he swears has got to be his sister. His sister is still alive, and I've got to go investigate and find her. I'm going to take this girl who's really into cameras and filmmaking and shit, and my best friend and his girlfriend, and we're all going to go looking for my sister in the woods. And that's the plot.
That's the movie! Yeah. Positives! One of the biggest negatives of the first one, from everybody who isn't me, is, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that?
Right.
Why didn't they have walkie-talkies? Why didn't they have a drone? Why didn't they have better cameras? So they brought all those in this one. So literally, before this movie was written, the writer was like, "We'll fucking show you, naysayers." Add it into the script. Bringing that up in the negatives.
They only had one night vision camera, and it had.
They had a night vision camera?
Yeah, it was the one that they put in the webcam that they put in the tree.
Oh, yeah.
And it had the worst battery life out of any of the cameras they brought with them. So they had one night vision camera, and it was a stationary camera, and it had just shitty battery life. It died like within a couple hours, and it was useless. But
this is going to be one of those wherever one of us brings up a positive, we're going to say a but and then turn it into a negative. This will be in both my lists. Camera shots. I actually like there was a couple times where suspense was built up due to the way it was filmed. And this is a found footage, so you're either completely fucked or completely fucked. And by that I mean you can't do anything, and it sucks because you're trying to stay super true to the found footage.
Right.
Or you add too much camera tricks, and it's like, what is one of these students Stanley Kubrick? Like, that doesn't make sense. This actually did find a bit of a in between.
Yeah.
There was some decent and some terrible, but some decent camera works. And at the same time, I did get motion sick.
Yeah.
So it must still be bad.
I'm still motion sick.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
One thing that
Here's
they did that really helped was they had these ear-mounted Bluetooth earphone-looking things that had cameras in them. I don't understand why they're the same quality of camera as her handheld camera.
Every single camera, including the old camera and others,
all had the same, like... Well, the old camera did have slightly degraded quality.
I didn't notice.
But everything else had, like, HD 4K quality.
Yep.
And that was a bit weird, but not horrible. But what I was trying to say is that because of that, they did have some shots that were steadier, but still not steady enough. They could have phased out the shaky cam. I mean, even the most basic cameras these days have Steadicam.
The basic editor, but I guess this wasn't edited, even though it was clearly edited.
It's supposed to give the rough feel. But the thing is, you can start with that and then gradually get smoother, and nobody will know. They're just going to remember the shakiness of the first few, and then that's going to carry on for the atmosphere through the whole movie. You don't need to have the shaky cam the whole time.
We turned another positive into a negative.
No. I was giving the camera thing a positive.
Oh!
It's just there's also a negative attached.
Yeah, okay.
There's a caveat.
Yep. I'll bring up the camera stuff again. I got a couple other things to say. But it's not really of the cinematography of the camera works that was a negative for me. There's other things I'll bring up, but it's mostly inconsistencies. Giant, but that's negative time. We got a positive?
Positive. Character design.
Yeah.
The clothing for the characters was very believable, very realistic. Spoilers, you do see the Blair Witch. And the way that she's designed is terrifying and awesome.
But you don't see her a shit ton.
No.
And that still is carrying from the last one. I like that instead of the first one, we don't see her?
I think we saw, I think we saw her face for like a second.
Yeah, like a split second. And I like that this one gives you, this much more. Also, this one builds off the lore.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
We'll bring that up again in the negatives because they kind of go all over the place with it. But I'm glad that this is a sequel to the first one. And it means to do that. They bring up a lot of stuff from the first one and they build on, I don't know, the whole guy standing in the corner thing.
Yeah.
That was brought up in the first one.
Yeah. Yep. 1940, there was a man who, lured several children into his home.
Yep.
And then he murdered them because he was told to by the Blair Witch, allegedly. Yep. And he would make the ones that he wasn't killing yet stand in the corner and look away, and he would kill them one at a time. Yeah, and I'm glad because the first time I watched the first movie, I missed why there's a guy in the corner. And I know they show that, but they actually bring it up enough and pound it home that I'm now thinking that aesthetic when I see the guy in the corner. Instead of there's a guy in the corner, I'm glad that this time it's they actually... Because they can't see the Blair Witch. They brought it up. I like that. They brought it up in the first one, but this one they pounded it home. No, they didn't, though. They didn't? No.
Okay.
In the first movie, they mention it as many times as they do in this movie. They drive it home because of that part. Yeah. Where the Blair Witch can't kill you unless you look at her. Yeah, but that's another building off of the lore. They're not only just explaining that it's an old guy used to make you stand in the corner. Now we're getting stands in the corner. You have to look away because if you look directly at the Blair Witch, she now can kill you. Right. And they go off that, and it's not. There's a lot of cheesy horror movie tropes. Oh yeah. That's not the worst of them. It's not the worst. It's not the best thing. It's not Oscar winning, but. That's definitely not the worst. Man. No. Bye-bye, man. That looks so bad. Trailer. Don't think of him. I'll keep reminding you. Watch the trailer for Bye-Bye Man. We should just review it. Yeah, we should. But, if you could think of the worst title for a horror movie, I'm thinking Bye-Bye Man. Bye-Bye Man. Definitely. Bye-bye. Any of the just thes? Yeah. The mist, the fog, the unfocused areas. The Conjuring. But Conjuring was good, but still terrible title. Yeah. Good for a horror movie. Anyway, so, lead, his name, was in Shameless for, a couple episodes, halfway through a season. He's the one that Debbie wants to have sex with, even though he's way too old for her, and then she rapes him. Anyways, watch Shameless. He's like a babyface Jack Orney. Yeah, he wasn't that bad. No.
No, I mean, this movie, you're not going to showcase anybody's acting talents in this movie. You could have Brad Pitt in here, and they won't do too much better than these people did.
But there's also Discount Cecily Strong.
Yep.
We'll get to her.
Yep.
And there was an extremely gorgeous black man.
Mm.
Don't
forget about, also, he's angry a little.
Yeah.
He's the black guy that's the first one to punch you.
He's soft, but he's
Also
also tough.
The first one to disappear, spoilers.
Yeah.
Very...
Well, that's not a spoiler. It's a horror movie. There's a black guy in it.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to be the first one to disappear.
God, do we have any more positives? Because that's the best segue into the negatives.
Other positives. Sound mixing is a positive and a negative for me.
Acting for the main girls sucked half the time, and other times I believed her crying. That's a positive. I believed her crying.
Yeah. Well,
in one scene.
I've got a positive.
Okay.
So, you know how they had that famous booger shot in the first movie where she's got the camera at an upward angle and she's dribbling booger at her nose? The very last, couple seconds of the movie, they did something equally as ridiculous, where she's got the camera in her face.
Where she's blubber crying?
It was stupid.
It was great.
In the best way.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was so bad it's good, just like the booger shot.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's another thing with the acting is, no actor wants to look that terrible. It's the fact that she's like, all right, I'm going to commit to the fact it's fucking awful because no one cries flatteringly.
Right.
I sure don't. When I cry, I look just terrible. I make bad noises.
Yeah.
I snort.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And I'm glad that they brought in the reality just like how the snot was so real. I'm going to call that a positive, the blubber cry.
Yeah. Also, last positive, I really like the girl played Talia. She
wasn't bad.
She was the most believable person in the cast, I think.
She wasn't bad. I'm going to give you that. She's like the kind of weird chick you don't get a lot of character of, and that's her problem. Because she doesn't have much character.
Right, but she's also the type of... I mean, I'm
She's
sorry if
very
you're one
one-note.
of these people, but there are people like that where you can look at her and be like, I know who you are.
Yeah. Well, also it's the, so you follow your boyfriend everywhere, huh?
Like, she's dating the weird... Nazi goth boyfriend.
Not Nazi, Confederate flag, but still different.
The music he was listening to, though.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, that was Nazi goth music.
Yeah.
And she's got, the Tumblerina haircut with the, bleach gray hair, and she's...
It's like faded, dyed purple hair.
Yeah, she's got, the acid wash jeans and the kind of punky t-shirt with the long sleeve black
And
sweater.
she's got that super teeny toy-sized build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a teeny toy-sized voice.
Yeah.
And then she's dating the weird...
The weird toy-sized goth.
Yeah. Okay, and perfect segue into our negatives.
Okay, negatives. Go.
The goth.
The goth. Lane.
His acting was terrible. His character was terrible. His plot line
almost
was terrible.
Got me for 1 second. And it's because I thought his character was a bad actor. And then I realized it was just him.
Yeah.
For a second I was like, wait, maybe that guy just sucks. No. No, he just sucks.
Predictable punk bitch character.
Yeah, and as much as I actually, and it's a little too in the spoilers, but the way his character goes, I more or less enjoyed, but I understand your negatives towards it, but he could have sold that more, and with his acting, you might have liked it more. Yeah. And that just goes with character.
Also, to do with that character, the plot, and the expanding of the lore for a negative, there were abilities the Blair Witch had, or power, or spells that she could cast, that were not ever even talked about or hinted at in the first movie. And I get, you have to expand the lore, I get that. But was there new witch technology coming out where she could do new shit?
No, that's a major problem. Now that's the same as, go back to comic books like I usually like to do. She has the Mr. Sinister powers now. Yeah. And that is
she can do whatever
plot convenient powers.
Right.
And Mr. Sinister's, I always had that in the comics. Whenever somebody asks me what Mr. Sinister's powers are, I'm like,
depends on the issue.
He does stuff. I know that. Sometimes, and same with Apocalypse. Sometimes he can stretch. Sometimes he can. He can get big. Sometimes, and then sometimes he's the best telepath ever. Sometimes he isn't. But yeah, that's now the woods of the Blair Witch, and now I get I see now that it seems like the woods are haunted, and it's not quite the Blair Witch. And now there's, like, the sun will never come up now. You're in a haunted area. Some people are perceiving time differently than everyone else. So they're trying to say the woods are haunted and not the Blair Witch. And that's retarded.
Yeah.
That's stupid. I get where they were going, and it's a bad idea. It's a bad thing. Because so the woods are now going to be up there in the pantheon of the best horror people? Or are we going to talk about Mike Myers, Freddy Krueger, and the woods and Blair Witch?
Yeah.
That's not scary. You actually have to give me something to be scared of. And just saying, darkness in trees. Yeah, that's been done. It was called Evil Dead 2, and they raped somebody in those woods. Yeah. The trees raped somebody. Been done, and it's better.
Bend over.
Bend over. I'm going to grab more beer.
But there, aside from the powers of the woods, there were some other really odd plot conveniences and inconveniences. Like, there was a character who cut her foot that the cut got possessed and then spread.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
She pulled like a fishbone out of her leg.
It looked right. You saw fishbone. I saw weird bug.
Yeah,
I saw like Slither monster.
Yeah,
as like from the movie Slither. James Gunn, good shit.
Just pulling it out of her leg with pus and goo.
Although it's a cut on her foot,
yeah.
And it's like pushing out at him. And the guy clearly saw something pushing, and the guy's like, "Oh, muscle spasm? I don't know."
Yeah.
And now
I'm not a doctor.
Let's talk about the difference between bad writing and bad dialogue.
Okay.
Decent dialogue in this movie.
Yeah.
Decent. I mean, that's not my negative.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the dialogue. Some people, like what you're bringing up with conversations that people have, is not every single conversation has to be plot-driven.
Right.
There was some of that in here where they're just having a conversation. Although sometimes they were like,
minor comments.
"Hey, did you hear that underneath the house there's tunnels?"
Yeah.
Okay, well that's coming up later.
Right.
But it's no worse than any other horror movie. But I'm not going to call the dialogue a problem. I'm going to call the writing a problem or the story of a problem.
The delivery definitely wasn't a problem.
No, the delivery wasn't. Plot conveniences is what I'm getting at. Let's make the main character a paramedic.
Right.
So he now can wrap
Let's have
people's feet.
make dumb decisions that are obviously dumb decisions.
But try to be like, because they're this.
Right.
So they're gonna make them.
There's a character that's crippled and sick, and she sees the drone that they brought with them in a tree.
Climbs up the damn tree.
Her legs fucked up.
She leaped to the tree and climbed up the tree.
And of course, the predictable happens. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but. And then there's another kid, the tunnel thing. She gets stuck. Like, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, she gets put in a pit. She's got either up or one of two ways.
Here's another thing with stuck.
She chooses the tunnel.
Here's another thing with stuck. I'm not going to move my arms to easily get through.
And then I'm going to cry.
It's like my biggest...
And then I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I can get through.
Yeah. The push got me through.
They said in the dialogue that the tunnels didn't go anywhere.
So she still just goes.
She goes, and it does go somewhere, but still in the house.
Yeah, the weird house that makes zero sense. And I actually, that was almost a positive, the design of the house.
The house is spooky, for sure.
But I wish they played up the, going through this door, only see the door you came through, go out and it's a different room.
Right.
Like, they should have did shit like that.
Right.
And if they did do that, bring it to another negative,
right.
It was not noticeable because of the lack of comprehension in the way it was shot, which is another negative.
I didn't like that the house, disappears when organized parties look for it.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Daylight.
That's a special house.
Didn't like that. I thought the house should be there. It's just so fucking out of the way that it's not.
Yeah, or if they would have stated that instead of it's only when the woods is doing its woods thing.
Yeah. When
now the house is out.
Oh, voodoo doll.
Voodoo doll, dumb.
That they weren't voodoo dolls in the first one. They were just dolls.
I love the stick people. The way that the stick people are made. That you'll see on every poster. I think the aesthetic of them, creepy as all hell.
But voodoo...
Giving them a power, stupid.
I'm pretty sure voodoo dolls weren't a thing in like
No.
Maryland or Massachusetts.
Oh, not Massachusetts.
It's like fucking New Orleans. Like
Or
voodoo
well,
Haiti.
that's from Haiti.
Yeah.
Is how it got to both Florida and Louisiana.
So I don't think the witchiness that was in because it's supposed to be witchiness that came from England,
like Crucible style.
Yeah. Witchiness, well, that's Barbados. That's like Haiti, but
in Crucible,
yeah, because Tituba is from Barbados.
Oh, okay.
But
I totally forgot about that.
In the 1700s, the Salem witch trials and shit like that, it's not supposed to be like Caribbean witchcraft. It's supposed to be like British witchcraft that came to the States.
That is Crucible, the Salem witch trials.
Yeah, but Tituba is a character in the Crucible that they.
Oh, yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
and she's from Barbados.
Yeah, it's been a while since I was forced to read that.
That was a mix.
Yeah.
But either way, voodoo dolls are not a thing in that type of folklore.
But that whole witch hunt
mentality
that came from you're not believing the Christianity that we are, or you're saying this Christianity's wrong, or whatever. You're saying our superstitions are different than your superstitions, so we're going to burn you.
Yeah,
but anyway, that was always a thing and it had nothing to do with
in the first movie, they had these little creepy wooden dolls. In this movie, they're fucking voodoo dolls.
Yeah, dumb.
Yeah,
very dumb.
Very dumb.
When they bring up, it did shock me because I didn't see that coming.
Right.
I didn't see that coming.
Like
somebody
said,
did something with voodoo doll and something happened.
It's
like,
it's like wow, she must have gone out to Walmart for a Black Friday special and upgraded her witch power.
Her witch shit.
Her witchy accoutrement.
And inconsistencies and incohesiveness are my two and last negatives. By that, I mean things that just don't make sense with the camera stuff. And I know we already said the camera work, we both are such film nerds. Every single camera has a night vision. Every camera. Unless you buy some weird discount thing
from China.
Which they didn't because they specifically stated how high-tech and awesome their stuff was.
There's a whole, arsenal shot.
Which I love the arsenal shot. But it didn't pay off because they always have to carry a flashlight now.
Right.
But why?
Yeah.
Just for another plot thing so the flashlight can fall over there and you can get this view. No!
And another
use the night vision.
Another plot thing. With good horror movies, you have suspense, payoff. In this movie, it was just suspense, payoff! And the night they enter the woods, shit happens.
Yeah.
That didn't happen in the first movie, and it should not have happened in this one.
You brought up my biggest negative.
The first act is this long, and the second and third acts are this long, and shit is just constantly happening.
Third act's forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know that was the best part of the movie, was the third act, because you finally get shit going on, but
It could have been.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah.
There needed to be more... there needed to be more of a build-up towards the end. Excuse me. There was more sinister shit going on before the ending in the first one, and I don't care. I'm gonna keep comparing.
You have to compare because they took the damn name.
Right, and that's the first one is so good.
Yeah,
and in this one, we didn't have any hint of what happened to the what's his name that got dragged away? Peter.
Oh, yeah.
Peter got dragged away, and, it's all still the same night, basically, until the end. But in the first one, you find the guy's teeth. You hear him screaming in the night. It's horrifying. In this one, there's no build-up for that. I wanted to see bodies. I wanted to see body parts or teeth.
In some of the scary... Well, let's compare it to the worst horror movie we have ever reviewed, which is Gallows. Ugh. Some of the scary shit is scary. We're not saying that. If you want to be scared, there was at least grown enough man sitting next to me who was damn near pissing himself at this movie. Yeah. So this movie does pay off when it comes to creepy shit.
Oh yeah.
We're not the audience for that, but definitely there was some whoa. And I'll go back to the tunnel sequence. I really like the tunnel sequence, but
I wanted something to happen.
That was another thing, but the creepiness of it was creepy, but then it fell.
Claustrophobia.
Now, I gotta get through my two big negatives, and I'm gonna save the one we talked about already for the end, and then I already said inconsistency and incoherency. So, because of the way the found footage was filmed, I saw something that he literally saw the complete opposite to, and we're not sure who was right.
Yeah.
We're not sure who was right, because he's I didn't get why this guy did this to her, or the other way around, and then it like flipped, and I was like, that's not what I saw. I saw this and this and this. And in the middle of us, like, no, it was this. No,
Right.
it was this.
Well, I saw character 1 doing something to character 2. He saw character 2 doing something to character 1.
So, am I right or is he wrong? That's now besides the point.
Too vague. But.
Yeah. Well, now that's besides the point because we should know who's right or wrong.
Right.
We shouldn't think one character's doing something when it's the other character. Neither of us should have saw something different.
And we weren't. This wasn't a movie where we were distracted at all. We were
watching, and that's why this movie's getting a higher rating than it sounds like because I was zeroed into this movie. I didn't leave like I do when there's a movie bad. I'm like, I'm gonna go for a walk. I'll be back. I didn't do that with this, but yeah. Now this isn't an interpretable scene. If you're watching this, like you're supposed to, one guy should see something different. It's art. No, it's not that kind of scene. It was literally like me and him were talking, and then we just filmed this so wrong you thought it was him for a second.
Just to avoid spoilers, we're talking about the scene with the trap door.
Yeah.
Where somebody gets pushed.
Yeah.
There's a trap door.
And we saw something completely different, which is coherency. Number one negative, fake jump scares.
Oh, God.
The worst thing in movies right now, and they went away. Like this year, a lot of movies, and this is at least what I've seen from reviews, because I haven't seen every horror movie that came out, but I heard like Lights Out, and a lot of them don't have any. They've been stopped relying on jump scares.
There was that director you were talking about who showed the first Blair Witch with the credits edited out.
Yeah.
And somebody believed that it was real.
Yeah.
I showed Marble Hornets to somebody and told them it was real. And it freaked them out.
Yeah.
Because it's believable.
Because there's no jump scares.
Jump scares.
Yeah. In not only jump scares, which are a problem, but a jump scare done right isn't a bad thing.
Right.
One or two of them. Like the first
Paranormal fake jump scare where it's like, hey!
I hate it. Like one person that just gets silent and somebody's like, hey, a penny! Why am I getting scared by that? That's not but that's not a scary thing.
Right, exactly.
So let's jump to the first Paranormal Activity, which I have my problems with, but the jump scares in that were fucking terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
They were actually like, a monster goes, fire at you!
Yeah.
That's a jump scare.
All the fucking cabinets shoot open.
Yeah, now that's a jump scare. But if he's just walking silently, and I just go, hey, I'm here!
Oh, God!
That's not a scary thing, and you're just surprising us. And I think this director is above that.
Yeah.
He's actually made movies that are good before, and he's above that.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit. And that really pissed me off, and it's my number one negative. I would have called it a negative if it was jump scares, but it's a big negative with the fake. Yeah. Fake scares are the worst.
I was pretty happy with what we saw in this movie, but I'd say my biggest negative is either that or the fact that we had so little build-up and were shown so much. Less build-up, more build-up, show us less.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what we got in the first movie was the shouting in the distance, the creepy things that the character saw that the camera didn't see.
Yeah.
Like, shit like that builds tension really well.
Which they did, but they would milk it, and then they would ruin it because they would show something. Yeah.
I'm ready to get my rating.
If you want to be scared, and if you don't critique movies, go see this movie. This movie's good for you. If you want to take a date... or get it at Redbox. If you want to watch a movie because you're into scary movies with your lady, this will work. It's not the best horror movie ever. Yeah. But it's definitely got its problems.
Don't cut a hole in your popcorn, though, because she's not going to be into it. All right, so I gave this movie...
Maybe your dates.
I gave this movie 4 out of 10 Pirate Men, because there's a little pirate guy with his video camera, and you might get it if you see the movie.
If you see the movie. We almost have the exact same. I just changed it because it is actually scary at parts. 4.5. Out of 10 wood guys. Wood creatures.
Voodoo dolls.
Voodoo dolls. That's what they are now. Oops.
Because now they're made of hair.
Now let's end it on a good note. You remember that scene in Dogma when he cuts out the voodoo doll soap and the oops? I don't believe in voodoo. That's a much better voodoo doll scene. Bye!